All right, welcome back. So if you don't already have Photoshop open, go ahead and open it up. And in this video, I'm going to be covering the File menu. But before I get started on that, just real quick, I want to talk about the splash page here, the welcome page. So you can take a tour. You can check out what's new. And you can drag and drop an image or select one from your computer to get started. And that basically what that would do is it would start a project. If you click on Learn, there we go. They do have tutorials here, so you can check out tutorials, and these are good ones. I've looked them over. You can take a tour of Photoshop, save your images, crop and straighten an image, add an object to an image, and there's a lot more right here. You can also do tutorials on the web. There's all sorts of videos here. They're all great. I think this is fantastic. I wish they would have had this when I was in school. I would have had a ball with this. So I encourage you to check that out at a later time. They do have Lightroom photos as well. I don't have any in here, but if you had them in here, you could pull them out and then work from there. So I just want to show you the welcome screen just so you understand what it is. And then right here you have the search bar, so you can search, and then you have a link to your account as well, if you need to get there. Okay. So in this video, like I said, we're going to be talking about the File menu. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File, and the first thing we're going to be learning about is the New command, or the New File. And basically what this is going to do is this is going to give you a couple options when you start. You're going to get a default Photoshop size. So that's 7 inches by 5 inches. And the resolution is 300 pixels, so 300 dpi. So think 300 dots per inch, or pixels per inch. They really say dots per inch, but it's the same thing. Basically what that does is if you do a 300 pixel resolution, or dpi I should say, it's going to have a crisper image because you're going to have more dots per inch. So you're going to have more quality. Okay. So let's click OK just to see what happens. And now you can see it opens up the document. So now you can start working in that document. Now the next thing, so that's really new. All New does is it just takes you to this little prompt menu here, and you can go through. And if you look at the document type, there's a lot of document types. So you can do US paper, international paper, photo, web, mobile app design, film and video, iconography, art and illustration, artboard, untitled, and custom. So they give you a lot of options. You can say presets. You can set the resolution to, if I go to web, it's going to be 72 dpi, not 300, because 300 is really for print. The reason why they do 72 for RGB is because load time. If you are building a website and you have 300 dpi images, your website's never going to load. It's going to be really slow. Plus, you're trying to reach everybody. So it's going to be a tall hill to climb if you're trying to reach everybody, but you're putting really high-end quality content out there, which is great, but you got to do it somewhere where it can handle that. So if it's video, that's a different story. But for the web, you need to optimize. So that's the new, that's how you make a new document. So the shortcut for that is Control N. So if you hit Control N, and then you go in here and you change this to, let's do video, 1920 by 1080. Okay, there you go. So now you have New, and now we have 3 tabs open. So if I wanted to close these, you can do a couple things. You can click on the X. You can hit Control W to close them as well. And then that will take us back to the home page. Okay, so that's the New command. Now you can also do Open. And what Open's going to do is it's going to look for Photoshop files. So I don't have currently anything here to grab, but that's okay. If you did have a file, you could click New, Open, and then it would open, or you can hit Control O. Okay. Next up is Browse and Bridge. So I don't have Bridge installed, but what Bridge does is Bridge will, let me show you real quick. This is Bridge, okay? So you can centralize all your content with Bridge. So think of Bridge as kind of like a folder with all your content in it, okay? It gives you centralized access to all the files and assets you need for your creative projects. Organize personal and team assets, batch edit with ease, add watermarks, set centralized color preferences, and even upload your photos to Adobe Stock. Bridge simplifies your workflow and keeps you organized, now including Creative Cloud libraries. So what it will do is it will optimize everything and keep it organized. You can make folders to organize everything and pull things in. So by running that command, Browse and Bridge, or hitting Control-Alt-O, that's going to pull Bridge open if you have it installed. We do not have it installed, so it's not going to work right now, but that's okay. All right, the next one is Open As. So Open As is the same as Open, but instead of just doing Open and picking a random file, this is going to have you open as, and let me move this over so you can see all the files, the formats, the extensions here. Wow, that's a big, okay, there we go. All right, so you can open as a PSD, a PDD, or a PSDT, okay, a large document, 3D Studio, audio file, BMP, Camera Raw, CIN, DAE, a GIF, EPS, Flash, wow, Flash 3D, that's cool. Google Earth, Pixar, Photoshop RAW, Photoshop PDF. Okay, so there's a lot of formats in here. The point is, I can scroll down and there's even more. So this is pretty much going to open just about any file format that there is. Not every single one. I'm not guaranteeing that, but you can see here from the list, there's about 30 extensions right here. Okay, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 right there. So that's 20. Yeah, so we're about 30 right here. Okay, so you're looking at about 30 to 50 extensions. I don't know the exact number, but you have a lot of options to open as here. Okay, now the next one, and if you want to do the shortcut, you can do Alt-Shift-Control-O. So let me try that. Alt-Shift-Control-O. I'm going to show you a lot of shortcuts because shortcuts increase your productivity dramatically. Not dramatically, dramatically. It makes you faster. Trust me. Open as a smart object. So what this is going to do, it's going to do all formats, and you're going to open a smart object. So that would be like, for an example that I use a lot is I grab Illustrator files and bring them over. So they're vector images. So you can save it as a vector image. You can save it as a smart object if you wanted to. There are other examples, but that's the primary one that I use. Open recent, we don't have anything recently opened. Close, that's only if you have a document open. So if we hit Control N and then open this, now this menu is going to be open. So you can Control W, close all is Alt Control W, close and go to Bridge, Shift Control W. Okay, now if we want to save, it's not going to let us save right now because we haven't done anything. But if I grab this brush and I do this, you see this little star right here? Now it's going to open up this menu here and say, okay, now you can save. Okay, or we can save as. So if you hit Control S or Shift Control S, you can save or save as. Okay, now what I recommend doing is if you're going to save, just save it. Just do Control S. You don't need to save as, because this is a PSD file. So when you're building out files in Photoshop, you want to always have a source. And what I mean by that is save it as a PSD first, then export it as whatever you need. That way you can edit the file, because if you edit it, not edit it, but if you save it as a flat image, you're not going to be able to edit any layers. Because what it does is when you export it out as a JPEG, a PNG, a GIF, etc., it's going to flatten the layers. So you're not going to be able to do anything with it. You're going to have to redo everything. So if you get into the habit of saving a PSD file, then you're not going to have problems later when you have 180 layers that you flattened and now you can't do anything because you didn't save the PSD file. So please, please, please save a PSD file. It will save you in the long run. Okay? So if I hit Control S and I go to the desktop, I'll save it there. Okay? Now you can do save as well. And we could save it as a Photoshop PDF. Okay, let's save that. Okay, I'll hit OK. Save PDF. Yes. Okay, now if I minimize this for a second, go to the desktop, there you go. We have the Photoshop file and a PDF file. So if I open that up, actually I don't have a PDF reader, so never mind. Let's go back to Photoshop and let's do the next one. So revert. I don't believe I can do revert right now. Let me just see something. There we go. Okay, so revert basically undoes your last action. So if I do this and I do this, and then I go here and I hit revert, or if I hit F12, okay, it's going to revert or undo your previous action. So even if I do this and I'm doing 4 different things, right? If I hit F12, it gets rid of all of them. Okay. So that's just if you need to undo 4 things at once, or just undo everything that you just did besides this right here, my beautiful artwork. Okay. Export. Excuse me. Export. Quick export as PNG, export as, export preferences, save for web, and then all these are layers to files, color lookup, tables, pass to Illustrator, zoomify. So if I do quick export as PNG, let's save it and minimize. Okay, it didn't work. I like that. Normally what I'll do is I'll do Alt-Shift-Control-S, and then I work in this window. This is what all I use when I export stuff. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's what I use. Because right here they have the presets, so you can do GIF, you can do JPEG, PNG 8, PNG 24, WBMP. I don't really use that much, but it's okay. Let's do PNG. And then I'll save that. And let's go to the desktop. We'll save it as Untitled 1, and I'll replace it. And there you go. So now if I minimize this, there's my PNG. So we have a PSD, PDF, and a PNG. Okay, so now generate. So you can do image assets. We can share on Behance. So we can upload here. I'll close that. This is share on Behance again. We can search Adobe stock, place embedded, place linked. So these are just files that you can bring in, and then what it's going to do is make a layer of it. So you see how it's the same file, but okay. So you see how they have different little icons here. So we did the embedded. Okay, so the embedded has this little document icon right here. And then the link has a little lock on it for a link. Okay. Package, you can grab a folder with content in it. Automate, so you can do batch, PDF presentation, create droplet, create and straighten, crop and straighten photos, contact sheet, conditional mode change, fit image, lens correction, merge to HD Pro, and photo merge. Scripts, you can run scripts to like delete all empty layers. there's a lot of things you can do. This is really a cool thing. You can flatten all masks, which I don't have any, but you can write out your own scripts and really, write out like 5 different things that you're doing and then make it a process and then run it. And then it will flatten all layer effects, which I don't have any, but this is really cool. All right, I'm going to hit done. Next up, we have import. So we can import video frames to layers, notes, WIA support, file info. So this is going to give you the info on the PDF. Okay. I haven't put a lot of metadata in here, but you want to because it's going to give you good SEO optimization if you're going that route, and other places as well. We can print. I'm going to hit cancel. We can do print one copy. I'm going to cancel that as well. And then the final thing in the file menu is the exit. So if I click on this, it's going to prompt me to save my file. I'm going to hit no, and then it's going to close out Photoshop. So that's the file menu in a nutshell. I know that's a lot to take in, but again, it's just to get you started with Photoshop to understand what's going on. And so what I want you to do is I want you to delete all these files right here for me. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.